Right now, on to the point. A local father arrested in the January 6th Capitol attack. Tonight, what could happen to this case and others under a second Trump term?
The President of the United States has almost limitless authority to pardon.
Plus, Trump's tariff threats, the countries he's taking aim at, and what it could mean for your bottom line.
Tracking the tail end of our last atmospheric river heading into the Thanksgiving holiday and the frosty conditions ahead.
And later, PG&E bills, why the company is asking for another rate hike, and who it could impact.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell, and we start tonight with a new batch of election results that just came into the newsroom. The latest numbers in the race for Sacramento mayor show Assemblymember Kevin McCarty remains leading over Dr. Flo Kofer with about 2,000 votes, and McCarty is now claiming victory in the race. Dr. Kofer's campaign says they are still awaiting those results. ABC 10 is not yet calling this race for one candidate. And then a shift tonight in the race for Congressional District 13. Democrat Adam Gray is now leading over Republican incumbent John Duarte by, get this, 105 votes. Duarte has led this race up until now and won the seat back in 2022 by 564 votes. Counties must certify their election results by next Thursday, December 5th, just right around the corner. Now, tonight, amid the Trump transition, a Granite Bay father has been arrested and since released on bail in connection with the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol back in 2021. 45-year-old Dane Christopher Thompson faces 7 charges, but with President-elect Trump saying that he'll pardon January 6th insurrectionists, why is the DOJ pursuing new cases? ABC 10's Becca Hacker spoke with a legal expert.
45-year-old Dane Christopher Thompson ran for a spot on the Eureka Union School Board in Placer County earlier this month and lost. In his candidate statement, he said he's an electrical engineer with 2 elementary-age kids in the district and a wife involved in the local schools. According to the FBI and U.S. Department of Justice, Thompson was also here, storming the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. He had been previously unidentified, known to the FBI as AFO number 292. AFO stands for Assault on a Federal Officer. Court documents say the FBI special agent identified Thompson from photos posted online and travel history. The criminal complaint says he grabbed a bike rack from an officer who had been using it as a barricade and later lunged at officers. Prosecutors say he was also part of the mob trying to push through a police line and into the Capitol building. Thompson was arrested Friday and has since been released on $25,000 bail. He was arraigned Monday with 7 charges, including engaging in physical violence in a restricted building or grounds and assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers.
For sure, there will be people from January 6th that will be pardoned.
Tom Johnson is an attorney and former federal prosecutor who is not connected to Thompson's case. We asked him about a president's power to pardon.
The President of the United States has almost limitless authority to pardon.
And pardon, President-elect Trump says he will. For one example, in this Truth Social post, he wrote, "My first acts as your next president will be to close the border, drill baby drill, and free the January 6th hostages being wrongfully imprisoned."
Could it be seen as a waste of time on the DOJ's part to newly pursue these cases, knowing that Trump could make it disappear in a couple months?
I don't really see it as a waste of time in the sense that you could predict what the president is going to do. I think that's very difficult to say. No one really knows how many people will be pardoned. No one really knows whether it will be a blanket pardon or whether people will be chosen individually. Some people were there just trespassing. Do those people get pardoned? Some people trespassed, destroyed property, and assaulted.
The same uncertainty goes for the other accused or convicted insurrection participants from Northern California. George Riley of Sacramento, Kyle Travis Colton of Citrus Heights, Tommy Allen of Rockland, Sean McHugh of Auburn, Ricky Wilden of Oakhurst, and Valerie Ericke of Colusa County.
All right, Becca Hacker has been following this all for us, joining us now. Now, Becca, I have to mention, President-elect Trump, during his first term, he didn't use the presidential pardon all that often.
Yeah, and we should clarify there are pardons, essentially clearing someone's record, and then there are commutations, reducing someone's sentence. And altogether, then President Trump granted some form of legal forgiveness to fewer than 250 people. Now, President Barack Obama, by contrast, offered clemency to more than 1,900 people convicted of federal crimes. And attorney Tom Johnson says Biden so far is falling somewhere in the middle. Now, a president also has the power to pardon someone before they're even charged. So Trump could potentially pardon everyone convicted in the Capitol riots, plus everyone whose case is in process, and those who have not yet been identified, like Thompson was just, a little bit ago. So the bottom line, we will have to wait and see.
And we will continue to follow this and bring you updates. Becca, thank you so much. I do want to mention, though, more than 1,200 people involved in the January 6th insurrection have been charged with federal crimes. Many people have still not been identified. If Trump follows through with his plan, former Capitol Police officer Harry Dunn says this is all a slap in the face.
The fact that there are discussions about people who attacked police officers, violently assaulted officers, are at the opportunity to be pardoned. It's almost a slap in the face even more. If they act in Donald Trump's name, that there's a possibility that they will be forgiven and that it's allowed. That's the message that it sends.
A federal case against President-elect Trump's involvement in January 6 has also been tossed. Just yesterday, special counsel Jack Smith moved forward with dismissing charges against Trump. President-elect Donald Trump says he plans to impose tariffs on Mexico and Canada on his first day of his new administration. In a social media post late last night, Trump expressing anger over border issues at the South and the North and targeting China with a tariff threat.
A renewed battle over the border even before the next Trump term begins. The president-elect's outspoken incoming border czar, Tom Homan, in Eagle Pass, Texas today, with Texas National Guard troops and other law enforcement deployed by Governor Greg Abbott.
Let me be clear. There is going to be a mass deportation because we just finished a mass illegal immigration crisis on the border.
And swift reaction today from foreign leaders after Trump threatened to implement 25% across-the-board tariffs on Mexico and Canada on day one of his new administration if both countries, he says, don't crack down on their borders with the U.S. Mexico's president today showing a letter she sent to Trump warning she'll hit back with tariffs of her own. Mexico is America's largest trading partner, with the U.S. buying nearly $500 billion of Mexican goods, like computers, cars, and electrical equipment. Tariffs could hurt U.S. industries and send prices higher for American consumers. And Canada's Prime Minister calling Trump directly after the announcement.
I don't think the idea of going to war with the United States is what anyone wants. What we will do is stand up for Canadian jobs.
Trump also accusing China of sending drugs pouring into our country, threatening an additional 10% tariff on all Chinese products, too. Trump saying his tariffs will remain in effect until such time as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop this invasion of our country.
Every damn thing that they sell into the United States is going to have like a 25% tariff until they stop drugs from coming in.
Mexico's president today calling the fentanyl epidemic a consumption problem inside the U.S.
Trump has also promised mass deportations in his second term. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we're actually going to be looking into how that could impact California's economy. Plus, we're verifying whether he could use the U.S. military to deport millions of people. Make sure you stay with us because there's a whole lot more news to get to. We're going to be looking at PG&E requesting another rate increase, how much your bills could go up.
Plus, we're taking a look at some frost and fog in our holiday forecast as we deal with big travel impacts this Thanksgiving weekend.
Plus, the ceasefire deal in the Middle East, who it impacts, and could it mean anything for the war in Gaza? Welcome back in. This is a live look at I-80 tonight near Castle Peak. You can see a good amount of snow on the ground there from our most recent storms. Traffic is moving pretty steady as people are heading to their holiday plans this week. But I want to get over to Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods so you know what's ahead for the holiday weekend.
We got some patchy frost and fog. Thankfully, the real messy stuff is kind of in the rear view mirror for us as we set the stage for a very busy holiday period. Right now, we've got temperatures in the upper 40s and low 50s in the valley, 40s in the foothills, already dropping to near 30 up top for the Sierra. I'll look at our hourly weather as we continue through tonight. Early tomorrow morning, some patchy fog. It will clear quickly because we pick up some gusty northwest winds. So we'll look at the holiday week timeline tomorrow. Patchy fog and then becoming breezy. That will clear out some of the moisture in the atmosphere. But as we start to lose the winds, we keep with the clear skies. We're going to have optimal opportunity for Thanksgiving Friday and Saturday for areas of morning frost, and we're talking temperatures deep into the 30s. Tonight, we'll see that patchy fog forming just after midnight. It will clear rather quickly, though. Again, once we pick up those northwest winds, we clear the fog. Skies will be mostly sunny, and then we're setting the stage for some frosty conditions. The winds will be with us for the morning hours and then really back off during the afternoon. Winds not too much of a concern, especially with all the leaves that are on the ground right now. Forecast lows for Thanksgiving morning in the 30s up and down the valley, and for the foothills, only about 10 degrees up top for the Sierra. Our storm track is heading to the north of us, and even at that, all the way through the Pacific Northwest will be dry through the Thanksgiving weekend. Highs for tomorrow in the 30s for the Sierra, with 50s for the foothills. Along the coast, we're close to 60 with a mix of sun and clouds right through the holiday weekend, but some frosty conditions even for the East Bay communities. Temperatures will warm into the 50s tomorrow throughout the valley after morning lows in the 30s and 40s. Teens and right around the single digits to start us off for the mountains. Highs, though, will warm back into the upper 40s by the holiday weekend. For the foothills, we're dry with mostly sunny skies. Highs in the mid-50s to near 60, and again, near 60 for the coast with a mix of sun and clouds. Moving on to our extended forecast, 3-day outlook. That takes us through Thanksgiving. Morning lows in the 30s, highs in the 50s. We'll continue to see pretty much status quo conditions through the holiday weekend. A little bit warmer next week. A lot of sunshine on the board there. And I'd say we deserve it after all the rain and snow we've had recently.
Oh, I agree. I'm not complaining about the sunshine. And if you want a closer look at your local forecast, you can stay up to date on weather conditions wherever you are with our free, let me remind you, free ABC 10 Plus app. There you can find your live radar, the latest storm news, and of course your hourly forecasts that are tailored specifically for your location. Next, on To The Point, another rate hike request for PG&E. When and by how much your bills could increase. Plus, President-elect Trump promising mass deportations. Is what's being proposed legal, and the impact it could have on California's economy? Let's get into your price points tonight. PG&E is once again seeking to approve a utility increase for its billing customers. Tonight, reporter Dion Lim looks into how much rates could increase and what that money would actually be used for.
It's a death by million cuts. It's just this nonstop rate hike after rate hike.
Already this year, PG&E has requested and gotten approval for 4 rate increases. The most recent resulted in an average increase of $6 on customer bills. This new proposal by the utility to the California Public Utilities Commission would raise rates another $4.33 to cover $592 million of vegetation management costs.
Right now, you're paying an average of $50 more than from the beginning of the year.
Rates have been going up long before this year. This graph from the CPUC shows that PG&E's average customer bill has doubled from January of 2018 to January of 2024.
And it's so expensive for people to live in California, period. And then you add these ever-increasing electric bills on top of it. It's not sustainable.
Senator Scott Wiener has long advocated for PG&E reforms. In 2020, he authored a bill for a public takeover of the company.
This all stems from PG&E's failure over many, many years to invest in its basic infrastructure, which led to wildfires and other problems. And the company just is, it's a real problem.
Last year, Wiener proposed legislation to speed up the process for utility companies to connect to new construction, such as public parks and homeless shelters. PG&E wasn't available to speak on camera, but tells me funding will allow them to connect to 13,000 new customers this year, compared to 9,800 last year. Turn suggests customers continue to speak out against the frequent increases, showing up at public hearings. I also asked Senator Wiener what else could be done.
The legislature certainly has the power, along with the governor, to set rules around PG&E's rates and to tell the Public Utilities Commission what to do. The question is whether the legislature has the political will to do that. PG&E and its supporters still have a lot of power in Sacramento.
And the Public Utility Commission is set to consider the latest rate increase on December 19th. If approved, PG&E says that it won't be reflected on your bill until 2026. Walmart, the world's largest retailer, says that it's rolling back some diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. The company making the announcement saying, quote, every decision comes from a place of wanting to foster a sense of belonging, to open doors to opportunities for all our associates, customers, and suppliers. The company is pledging to better monitor third-party marketplace items to make sure that they don't feature sexual and transgender products aimed at minors. It will also review its funding to Pride events and will end racial equity training programs for staff, as well as no longer consider race and gender as a way to increase diversity when offering supplier contracts. Turning now to your Verify tonight, President-elect Donald Trump says that he wants to use the military to help deport millions of people in the U.S. Brandon Lewis from our Verify team looks into whether he can legally do that.
After he won the election, Donald Trump reaffirmed his pledge to declare a national emergency and use the military to deport the estimated 11 million undocumented people in the U.S.
It's going to be the largest deportation of criminals. We're going to get them out of here fast.
Multiple viewers emailed us asking if he can legally do that. So let's verify using these sources. All of our sources say yes, it is legal for the president to use the military to help assist in a mass deportation. But it's unprecedented, so the plan will likely be challenged in court. Active duty full-time service members like soldiers or Marines can't arrest people within the U.S. under federal law. However, they can build infrastructure such as temporary detention facilities, transport detainees, and provide armed backup for domestic law enforcement. Trump could also ask governors to send their National Guards to help. Unlike active duty service members, guardsmen are allowed to arrest people domestically if their governor allows it.
The National Guard is a state militia, can be called out by the president with the cooperation of the state governors. And so you could have the National Guard from, let's say, Texas, be used for apprehension.
Our legal experts say Trump's declaration of a national emergency would help speed up the process, bypass some legal arguments, and free up funding, similar to how he diverted funding from the military during his first term in office to build parts of the border wall. The Brennan Center says only Congress can vote to end an emergency, but it effectively needs a veto-proof majority to do so. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Mass deportations promised by President-elect Donald Trump could have a seismic economic effect in California. More than 10 million, or 27% of California's population, is foreign-born. According to the most recent U.S. Census data, roughly a fifth of that is thought to be undocumented. Experts suggest deportations could potentially inflict billions of dollars in direct damages to a wide range of industries, including small businesses, agriculture, and construction. I recently spoke to a political analyst, Steve Swat, about the impact.
Supposedly about 70% of farm workers are undocumented immigrants. If they should be rounded up and deported, you lose 70% of your farm workers. What does that do to California's $57 billion agriculture industry? It devastates it. Where are they going to get people to work the fields, for example, and things like that? And it's not just in agriculture, it's in other fields also, where these are valuable employees who do pay taxes.
And you can catch more of To The Point's half-hour conversations on the Trump transition. It's streaming now on the ABC 10 Plus app, and it's available to stream wherever you get your streaming services. More than a year of fighting between Israel and Lebanon could soon all be coming to an end. Israel has approved a United States brokered ceasefire agreement with Lebanon's Hezbollah. The deal is now in effect, and it is supposed to last for 60 days, during which Israeli forces would withdraw from Lebanon in phases. And the Lebanese army would be stationed in southern Lebanon to ensure Hezbollah has cleared out of the area. U.S. officials say this deal could incentivize Hamas to end the conflict in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to bring the remaining hostages home from Gaza. Still ahead on To The Point, we have a heartwarming update to a story that we brought you before. We'll show you what we're working on for tomorrow. All right, before we go tonight, we have a hopeful update on a retired Sacramento Kings player who was in a life or death situation and really needed a new heart. Scott Pollard played 5 seasons with the Sacramento Kings from '98 to '03. And as we reported back in February, Pollard, who is now 49, he got the heart transplant that he needed. Since then, it has been a long road of recovery and healing. Pollard recently connected with his donor's family and spoke with ABC 10 about this life-saving gift.
Casey is my donor's name, and he's a big dude. He was 6'3", and that's, my doctor said that's about as short as we could go. But his heart is big. It's pumping. It's working. I'm very happy that the family is okay, and they're still processing. Of course, they've lost a loved one.
He says his donor died unexpectedly of pneumonia, and now Pollard and his donor's family are raising awareness about the importance of organ donation. So coming up tomorrow night at 6:30 on To The Point, the surprising thing that this donor's heart did once it was inside of Pollard's body. We'll have that story. As always, thank you so much for watching and for inviting us into your home. If you have something that we should be looking into, make sure to reach out to me and the team. And don't forget, To The Point does not end here. You can always watch stories on our free ABC 10 Plus app or wherever you stream. Have a great night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To The Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To The Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention base sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. What's super exciting, I know you care about high school sports. You'll never find a more comprehensive guide and team dedicated to high school sports. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look, it's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To The Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.